I had 9 OpTic Scuff controllers. I loved OpTic so much, I had all the hats and jerseys. I prayed to Scump every night before a GB match. Scump is love, I say. Scump is life. My dad hears me and calls me a bad kid. I knew he was just jealous of my devotion to OpTic. I called him a scrub. He downloads Cain and Abel and sends me to go offline. I'm crying now, and my router hurts. I fix my router and get online again. I play domination, and a matched player appears. It's Scump. I am so hyped. He whispers into my Astros, "This is my lobby, #Greenwall." He 1v1 smacks me with his powerful competitive hands and puts me on a 42 death streak. I wasn't ready. I stay in the lobby for Scump. He penetrates my win-loss ratio. It hurts so much, but I do it for Scump. I can feel my stats dropping as my death streak grows larger. I push against his B flag. I want to smack Scump. He roars a mighty call out as he drop shots me with his love. My dad joins session. Scump looks him straight in the variable zoom scope and says, "It's all OpTic now." Scump leaves through the dashboard. Greenwall is love. Greenwall is life.
Capture the objectives. Securing A.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a little story for you guys about the time when I ran this little kind of loan shark company kind of thing back in 5th grade with a buddy of mine named Anthony. Now, before I get into the story, there's a few things I would like to say, which I will just get out of the way real quickly so you can dive right into the story. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for getting me a shit ton of views on the OpTic video I made the other day, the Scump is Love, Scump is Life. I posted it on Reddit, on the OpTic Gaming subreddit, and I got almost 4,000 views as of right now. It is the 6th of May around like 5 o'clock p.m. And it's awesome. It's really crazy to see that many views because I've never gotten that much before on any of my videos on this channel. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching that video and sharing it around. I've seen some of you guys tweeting it out to Scump on Twitter and stuff. It's cool to see my video being tweeted out by other people, being shared and stuff like that. So I just wanted to thank you guys for all the support on that video. Also, I just wanted to kind of make a little announcement about what's going on in my brain about Call of Duty and gameplays and stuff like that. Now, I'm getting really sick of Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, any CODs as a whole. I'm getting really, really tired of playing it and going for gameplays. I don't really have fun anymore. It just makes me angry and it pisses me off when I'm like one-off dropping my swarm and potentially getting good gameplay, getting killed by some dude in the corner with a Remington or some kid with a ballista halfway across the map. It's really tedious and it's annoying. So I don't know how much more of those like 70 plus kill games you guys will see on my channel, and those aren't necessarily impressive, but I just kind of like to throw in those gameplays that are good for my standards because I feel that they're more entertaining to watch than just some like random 20 and 10 gameplay. But I don't know, I'm getting really frustrated with Call of Duty, and I'm getting really, really fed up, and I refuse to use other people's gameplays because I just don't feel that is right. Even if I credit them, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way and say that. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about gameplays and stuff like that. It's just, COD is really pissing me off, and getting gameplays is the worst part of being a YouTuber in my opinion. So anyways, just forget all that crap, all that, bad Call of Duty stuff. Moving on, I'm going to tell you guys a story. Now, the last story that I told dropped over 120 likes, so let's gun for 100 likes on this video. I think we can do it. I hope we can. Just smack the like button if you've enjoyed what you have heard so far, or at the end of the video if you like it and you haven't liked it yet, then smack it then. But yeah, let's go for 100 likes. So this story is basically about how I ran this loan shark kind of investment-esque kind of company with a buddy of mine named Anthony back in 5th grade. And back in 5th grade, we were like the top of the elementary school. So we were just the straight up bona fide thugs. We were the hardcore kids on the playground. You don't fuck with us. The 5th grade squad was not fucked with. And in our classes, we had these things called behavior bucks. Now, no other grade had these. Only 5th graders got these. And they were these little like They were kind of like Monopoly money, but on a bigger scale. They were like double the size of a Monopoly bill, and you would get a behavior buck for doing something good. And at the end of every like semester, so every 2 quarters, you could use those behavior bucks in like this little auction that the teacher would hold, and the teacher would like lay out a bunch of cool little toys and stuff like Legos and candies and like little balls, and you could like save up all your behavior bucks if you were a good kid, and you could start stacking your paper, and when the time came at the end of the semester to go to the auction. I mean, you know, everybody was like stacking behavior bucks. Everyone wanted these pretty much because it paid off big time if you had a lot. It did. So what me and a friend of mine named Anthony did was we came up with this clever little idea to earn ourselves some more behavior bucks without actually earning them from the teacher, because the only way to get a behavior buck is if you were a good kid in class. So let's say, you know, you held the door for someone. If the teacher saw that, you would get a behavior buck. You answered a question correctly in class, you would get a behavior buck. Stuff like that. Sounds easy, but believe me, it was a lot harder than it sounds to come by behavior bucks. They were fairly rare. You know, getting one was pretty uncommon, especially for a kid like me. I wasn't the best kid in the world back in elementary school. But anyways, so me and Anthony started up this little company where what you would do if you were like interested in investing, you would give us your behavior bucks, however much you wanted to put into our company. And we would put them into circulation. It was sort of like a bank, I guess you could say. There was no real benefit for them. We would just kind of spice it up and make it sound good. And they'd be like, oh, wow. And, you know, they were fifth graders, so the concept of a bank was interesting to them. They didn't quite understand it. So we just straight up would tell people, okay, we'll hold on to your money. We'll make sure no kids steal it. You don't lose it. It stays safe. And all you have to do is collect it within a certain amount of time. Or if you collect it late, then you'll have to pay a little fee to get it out and stuff like that. And basically, our profit relied on those kids not getting it out on time and having to pay a fee because they were irresponsible. Like, you know, we're fifth graders. We're irresponsible kids. We don't really keep up with our chores and our tasks and stuff like that. So we did pretty good with this. And then one day there was this kid named Jonathan. Now this is towards the end of the business when the teacher made us shut it down because it was causing too many arguments and problems. Now we didn't really have anyone to help us enforce this rule, this whole like, oh, well, if you don't pay us back in blank amount of time, then, you know, we're going to have to do something. Or, oh, if you don't like get your money out in blank amount of time, you're going to have to pay this interest. We didn't have anyone but ourselves to enforce this rule because the teacher had no idea that this was going on. So there was this kid named Jonathan Earl. I remember this kid. And he was possibly the most irresponsible kid in the class. And he was kind of weird and just a weird kid. And Jonathan invested, I want to say it was like $5, just 5 behavior bucks. Wasn't a ton, but better than nothing. And we were like, all right, we're going to make a killing off of Jonathan because he's not going to collect his money on time. And we were right. Now, our strategy was we're not going to go hound on you every day to remind you to get your money on time. We tell you once or twice, and that's your responsibility to remember, right? So, of course, we told Jonathan once or twice. Then the day came where he was late, and he had to pay 1 extra behavior buck, and it would add 1 more for every day he was late, school day, of course. And it came the day where he had to add his first buck to get out. And we told him, we were like, hey, Jonathan, you're a little late on this. You know, you're going to have to pay an extra behavior buck today if you want to get your money out of the bank. And he was like, oh, all right, don't worry about it. I got it. I'm not late. It's fine. And we told him, yeah, you're late. But he didn't care. He disregarded that. He just 100% was confident that he was not late. So we just sat around and we were like, all right, you know what? We're just going to let his fee add up until by the end of the semester, we're at like 100 behavior bucks from this kid, and we're going to be stacking. That's not how it worked. He came up to us, I want to say 3 or 4 days later, and he was like, all right, I want to get my money out. So at this point, it was 3 or 4 days later, he had 9 or 10 bucks that he had to pay. No, excuse me, that was like, never mind, I was thinking all goofy. He had to pay like 4 or 5 behavior bucks to get his money out at this point. And we were like, all right, Jonathan, if you want to get your money out, you got to give us like, let's say 4 behavior bucks. Jonathan didn't have the 4. That was all the money that he had, all the behavior bucks that he put into our bank, and he had no more, and he refused to go out and earn more or somehow get them, steal them. We don't care where you get it as long as it ends up in our pockets. We don't give a shit. So Jonathan started a little feud, and he was like raising his voice in class. He was being an asshole. He was like, hey, you know, give me my behavior bucks. You stole my behavior bucks. And our teacher overheard it, and our teacher came over and asked what was going on, and me and Anthony were just kind of like, oh, fuck. This is bad. And he explained kind of, oh, well, they have my behavior bucks, and we were holding up this little wallet that had our company's name on it. I don't remember the exact name that we came up with, but it was written on it, and we designed this cool little wallet. We folded it out of notebook paper, and it was real fancy and nice. But our teacher asked us what was going on. We had to spill the beans about our little operation here, and she told us we can't do this anymore, and we were devastated because that was how we made all our behavior bucks. That was how we were the richest kids in the class. We were stacking. We were just, you know, paper paper, stacks on stacks on stacks, just absolutely rich in terms of behavior bucks. Now, we had to shut it down because Jonathan wouldn't shut his mouth and just pay the fee. We should have given it back. We should have just given his money, no charge, but then we figured that would send out a message that you can mess with us, we're not going to do anything. So we basically gave his money back, and since the teacher saw that we made him sign a contract, because that's what we would do with every person who deposited, we had this written out contract that we made like 50 copies of, and we make the kids sign their name on the bottom so they understood. And we showed our teacher the contract, and she saw it and she read over it, and it was his signature, all right. So she made him pay us a few extra behavior bucks that she could somehow scrape up to give Jonathan. I don't know, she made up some bullshit reason so it wasn't just for this, and he paid us back, and that was that. We got our little loan shark business kind of thing completely shut down, and it sucked. But yeah, I just wanted to share the story with you guys because it was a little memory I had today when I was thinking about elementary school and 5th grade and stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like and a comment and share your thoughts on this story. If you can relate to this in any way or just have any funny elementary school stories, feel free to share those in the comments below. Don't forget to like once again. Let's go for 100 likes on this video. I know we can do it, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a rant video kind of thing about, you know, freshmen and how they're slutty and they're being hoes and shit like that, and just kind of sharing my thoughts on it and why I think it's kind of fucked up. But before I dive into that, I want to ask for 90 likes on this video in honor of bringing back some throwback COD. We got some nice Black Ops 1 gameplay running in the background. I hopped on this game the other day at like 2 a.m. when I had no other friends on to play BO2 with, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I was running solo, and I got right back into it, and my water bottle just like popped. I don't know if you guys heard that. I apologize. But either way, so let's go for 90 likes in honor of Black Ops 1 and what is hopefully a entertaining commentary for you guys. And let's not wait any longer. Let's dive right into it. So, but before I start, I feel like it would be kind of important to give my definition of a freshman hoe, because there's a lot of different definitions of it. Now, basically, if you guys don't live in the US, you know, maybe you call your grades different things, but here, 9th graders are freshmen. They're like, you know, 14 to 15 in the US here, pretty much everywhere in the US, that's what they call them. Yeah, everywhere in the US, pretty much. And Canada, I think Canada, yeah. But either way, and there's just a lot of freshman chicks who are doing hoe shit. They're having sex, they're doing stuff like that you should be doing when you're 18, 19, 20, shit like that, when you're like late in high school or out of high school. They're doing stuff that is kind of, you know, they're starting early, I guess you could say. So my kind of definition of a freshman hoe, my water bottle needs to fuck off, excuse me. But anyways, my definition of a freshman hoe is pretty much like if you're a freshman chick and you fucked a dude who you're not dating, or like maybe 2 dudes, but even 1 dude, in my opinion, especially if you are a freshman, kind of makes you a hoe just because of the age that you're at. Also, if you're like, let's say, I think it's okay if you're a freshman and you like fuck a dude as long as you're like dating him, but it doesn't, like, if you're dating them, that doesn't void you from being a hoe, I guess you could say. It's really the only way I could think of putting it, because you could date a dude for like 2 months, you could fuck him, and you know, however many times you want, it doesn't matter because you're dating, so that's what you do, you're gonna fuck, right? And then you break up, and then 2 weeks later, you're fucking the dude that you told your last dude not to worry about, you know? That's hoe activity right there. That is red alert, you know, throw up the red flag. That is hoe activity. You are branded a hoe, you're deemed a hoe. So if you're like dating a dude for like a certain amount of time, let's say like you're dating him for a while, not even for a while, let's just say you're dating him and then you fuck him and you like break up, let's say, and you don't just hop to another dude and start doing shit with him right off the bat, that's not necessarily hoe activity. But you know, if you're like single and you're going around fucking dudes, you're not dating, even blowing dudes, but you have to blow like a lot of dudes, blowing like 1 dude maybe just because you want to try it, I don't really count as hoe activity. I mean, you are like 15, so naturally, you know, you're not gonna like sit there and just never try it, you know, might as well try it while you can. But yeah, that's just kind of my definition of a hoe, which I hope will kind of clarify things that I'm about to say in this commentary. Now, I don't understand why freshman girls are doing this lately, because what's kind of happening, and this is all around the town that I live in and, you know, other towns nearby. I don't know if this is all across the nation. I'm pretty sure it is, though. these older dudes that are like juniors and sophomores, these like 17, 16-year-olds are coming and, you know, hitting them freshmen up. They're fucking smashing it, and they're hitting it from the back. You catch my drift. And the freshman girls are going up and, like, you know, fucking around with these older guys in high school. And it's like, you're 15, you're a freshman, you shouldn't be doing this shit yet. And you're building this bad reputation as a hoe and a slut and a thought and any of that stuff at the first year of high school. You're going to have 3 more years to give a lot of fucks about your reputation here in high school. So if you really want to start doing hoe activities, then save it till like the last 2 years or even 1 year of high school. They're stupid because it's going to come back and it's going to bite them in the ass. And I think that a lot of these girls nowadays don't really realize that that's just going to fuck them over. Because, you know, it may be all fine and dandy. It may be fun. It may be, you know, cool to go around fucking dudes you don't date in freshman year and becoming loose as shit and having that pussy torn up. Sure, that may be fun as shit in freshman year, but come around junior year, I guarantee when you finally want to have a genuine boyfriend, or you just want another like new dude, you're either gonna have slept and fucked with all the dudes and they don't want you anymore, or you're just gonna be such a hoe that the people who do want you are gonna stay away because it's not worth it. And that's what they don't realize, because that's really kind of how that's how high school works. It's all based off reputation. And you have these girls out there nowadays who are doing shit that like 10 years ago, back in 2004, kids this age wouldn't even fucking think of, you know? Like, kids were having sex at like 16 was considered an early age at like 04, 10 years ago, you know? Even more recently, it all started like, all this like hoe shit started in like, I don't know, I wanted to say maybe like 2009, 2010, with like the YOLO swag, Taylor gang shit. But before that, you know, back in like 2003, early 2000s, late 90s, you wouldn't see shit like this. You know, you'd see girls wearing fucking I cannot speak today, denim shorts with fucking pigtails, you know, running around with turtlenecks on in the middle of July. Now you have these fucking girls who are wearing booty shorts that are literally essentially just denim panties, and these chicks in tank tops or their fucking tits are about to fall out. And it's just, I don't know, I don't get it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking every time I hear about these chicks who are being hoes, and especially these freshmen that are getting fucking pregnant? Because there's a chick in my school, I'm not going to drop any names, who is allegedly pregnant. Nobody knows if it's true or not. You know, like 90% of people say it's true, 10% say it's not. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I personally believe it's true, but I don't know. But it's just like, it's ridiculous that you have these 15-year-old chicks getting pregnant, and it's like, what the fuck? Because if you go out there and you have a kid at 15, now you're torn up for life. You are literally, that is like the official hoe stamp. Like, you will not be touched. And if you get an abortion, then obviously people are going to find out. People are going to know you're pregnant. The dude you fuck's going to know. He's going to tell people he fucked you. He's going to tell people you got pregnant, because it's not his problem. You know, if a dude gets another girl pregnant, it's not embarrassing for him to tell people. Whereas in the girl's perspective, she doesn't want anyone to know. But obviously, when you're going to have a fucking fat ass stomach in like 9 months because you got a kid laying in there, then people are going to know, whether you tell them or not. Believe me, people are going to know. And after you get an abortion, which is, I guess, the best option for people this age, then people are going to find out. No one's going to want to hit it because a kid died in there. That's a haunted pussy. Like, you don't want to come near that, you know? That's fucking, no, I don't want to go into the haunted mansion, you know? I don't want to hit that anymore. So it's just, I don't know. It kind of, it doesn't piss me off because, I don't know, whatever. I mean, hoes gonna be hoes. You can't do anything about it. But I just don't get it. I don't get the logic behind it. I don't understand why these girls do it. And I felt like ranting about it because, I don't know, I felt like it would be a good topic to talk about. So if you guys enjoyed, please drop a like and a comment. Let's go for 90 likes in honor of BO1 and now this commentary, now that it's over. If you guys have any thoughts on freshman hoes, any stories about maybe, you know, chicks in your grade doing wild shit like that, you know, pregnant chicks, anything like that, drop a comment sharing it. I love reading the comments and I love seeing you guys' feedback, and I hope you guys enjoy. See you guys next time. Peace.
Various listeners wishing us death. Don't give a damn, I'm reppin' Young Sinatra till my last breath. Easily my darkest confession is lyrical aggression through indiscretion that triggers anti-depression when addressing my profession in every session. The fact that I'm alive is such a blessing. Sipping wine while these honeys are dressing. What I'm about to say is highly confidential, and in the music industry today very essential. So beside your pencil, you can do it on your own. Stop thinking that these labels is the ones that put you on. Let's change the topic. Who's your favorite rapper? I'm the top pick. The flow is elegant, never irrelevant. How many times must I say this? Cock back and spray this, never delay this. I pray this reaches the masses and spread like cancer on their asses. Now, allow me to catch wreck, bust rhymes like tech. Put me in your box and I'll destroy the deck.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a pretty interesting rant. I hope you guys will enjoy this one. This has a little bit of a kind of more, I guess you could say, aggressive tone than the rest of my commentaries, and believe me, I'm not usually like this, but I'm pretty pissed off about what I'm about to rant about. But before I dive into that, I would like to ask for 90 likes on this video because I'm using the Advanced Warfare camo on Black Ops 2 in this nice little free-for-all gameplay. Nothing special. I think I died like 10 times, but ended up winning the game, so it's not like an amazing, outstanding gameplay. I don't dump on these kids or anything. It's just kind of something I put up because of the new camo. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop 90 likes at the end of this video if you enjoyed the com or the Advanced Warfare camo, and let's get started. You know, no more waiting. So this commentary today is about kind of explaining why my freshman hose video got taken down yesterday, and right now it is Wednesday the 15th, or Thursday the 15th, excuse me. I put this up on Tuesday evening, and I took it down last night due to some issues that I'm about to explain. I don't know if this is going to go up tonight or tomorrow. It really all depends on when I get this rendered out and uploaded, so you guys may be hearing this tomorrow, the 16th, aka Friday, or tonight, the 15th, Thursday. So basically, it got taken down because someone at my school took offense to it. I'm not going to drop any names because I don't really need to get personal here. I feel no need for that. Someone at my school took offense to the video. It got reported to the main office, aka the dean, and where, you know, all the administrative people chill out. And I got called down to the office during my third period class, excuse me, and they called me down and they discussed it with me. And, you know, I gave them the full story. Like they asked, it was kind of like a police interview, like what time did you upload it, you know, what was it about, you know, how many like views, stuff like that. So I gave them all that information. I was like, well, this is kind of weird. I wonder like what they want, what's going to happen to me, you know. So they talked to me about the video a little bit. They talked like, oh well, some people kind of took offense to it, and I told them, you know, this isn't normally the kind of video that I upload. I don't really talk too much or rant too much about you know, stuff like that kind of relates more to my in real life issues, because I don't know, I just kind of don't really do those style of videos too much. I'm doing one right now actually because this relates to my IRL issues, but basically they told me that I should probably consider taking the video down, and they can't really like punish me for it because I didn't say anyone's name or anything like that. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'll definitely consider taking the video down, which I was probably going to. I was considering it. However, it also kind of ticked me off a little bit. But since I figured that I had a choice, I was like, well, you know, at the end of the day, it is my choice. No big deal, right? Now, if it ended there, that wouldn't have been an issue at all. This commentary wouldn't be going up right now. None of this would be happening, and the video may still be up. I don't know. I would have considered taking it down, you know, just because getting business done, I guess you could say. So later that night, excuse me, God, I cannot speak lately. Later that night, it was last night, Wednesday night, and I was sitting there doing homework, and my mom gets home, and she comes up the staircase, and she yells at me. She's like, take the video down. I'm like, what? And she's like, take the video down. I'm like, what the hell? All right. So she makes me show her me taking the video down, me deleting it and getting rid of it and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, now my parents are brought into this. And that is, when you bring parents into something personal like that, that elevates it to a whole nother level, and that is no longer the same thing. And that is where I got pissed off. That is where I got seriously fucking pissed off, because if you take offense to any of my videos, especially the rant videos, because the rant videos are purely my opinions. There's nothing factual in there. It is 100% my opinions, what I think. I'm entitled to my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. And if you have a problem with any of my uploads, I say countless times, every single upload, drop a comment sharing your thoughts. I say that for a reason. I don't put that there for filler, just to take up more time so you can watch more of the gameplay. No, I say that because if you genuinely have an issue with the commentary, you can share it in the comments section, not go and bring the school into it and bring my parents into it and potentially get my ass in trouble for sharing my opinion. I did not say a single person's name in that video. I did not directly insult anybody. I did not fire shots at anybody. That video was not inspired by anyone or directed towards anyone. That was a video that was purely made for entertainment purposes and was uploaded for the sole purpose of just me ranting and getting, you know, your guys's attention, I guess, to kind of get you guys to take interest in that video, because I felt it was a pretty good video. I thought it was a genuinely interesting topic. It was a good video, and I thought it was well made, so I put it up, and I was happy. I was excited. I was like, wow, in my opinion, this is one of my best videos in a while, and the feedback showed that. And to put hours and hours of work into creating videos for you guys to watch, just to have it taken down because one person's feelings were hurt about my opinion that I'm completely entitled to, is bullshit.
It's absolute bullshit. That's something that I put hours and hours of work and dedication every single week. Oh, God, I cannot speak today. Excuse me. To create these videos for you guys, to have it just destroyed and taken down like that just because someone was upset by my opinion and they didn't even contact me before going to the school about it. That's bullshit. It was an out-of-school issue. It didn't at all relate to school. I didn't name any schools. I didn't even name a town or a state for that matter. So I don't really understand why it had to be brought to school's attention, considering the person that spoke to me about it contacted me the night before they went and told the school. And the night before, I apologized like many, many times. And if you would ask me before, if anyone that I know in person has an issue with my content, if you ask me like in private personally to maybe consider taking down a video or altering it in any way, I'll gladly listen to you and I'll do it if it's reasonable. But if you sit there and you don't request it and then you go straight to the school without like talking to me or negotiating maybe some way to fix it, that's immature and that's bullshit in my opinion. And that really pisses me off, because imagine if you were an artist or a sculptor or something, all right? I'm not saying I'm an artist. I'm not. I'm just a kid who talks and plays Call of Duty. But imagine you just made the coolest sculpture in your collection. It's, this cool little sculpture of this big buff Roman gladiator dude like you would see in ancient Rome if you were to play like Assassin's Creed or some shit, right? You get it put up in a museum. You're proud as hell because this is your first sculpture that's ever been in a museum. You're proud. You are just ecstatic right now the day that it goes in that museum, right? Tons of people go to the museum on that day because they find out that there's a new sculpture, aka yours. Tons of people love it, but there's just that one person that has a problem with it. And what is their problem with it? It has a penis. So they're upset that your sculpture has a cock, and they get it destroyed and taken out of the museum because they didn't like what you did with that sculpture. That's essentially, in a sense, kind of the same thing that happened here. I shared my opinion, and I put a lot of hard work into that video, and I was proud of that. And it got taken down and removed and deleted, and I'm not able to re-upload it because one person didn't like my opinion. I don't put out videos for everybody to agree with my opinion. I don't put out videos for the school staff and my parents to listen to. I put out videos for you guys to be entertained and for you guys to listen to what I have to say and share your thoughts on the topic as well. I don't put out videos to get shit like this, and it pisses me off completely. And I was considering just making a whole new identity and not sharing it with anyone and just starting from scratch, but I realized something. Why should I give a shit? Sure, you have a problem with my opinion, but in all honesty, if you're going to go at it that way, I couldn't give two less shits. I really don't. So I'm just going to keep saying what I think is right, saying what I think I should say on YouTube, and I'm going to keep uploading what I want when I want. And that's how I'm going to go at it. And I'm pissed off about this. Yeah, I think it's bullshit. But you know what? You got to learn and you got to move on. So yeah, I just felt like ranting today. And I don't know. I just want to get that off my chest. That's an explanation as to why the video got taken down the other day. I know that you guys really, really enjoyed that video just because I got like 120 likes in 15 hours or something crazy like that, which was awesome feedback. Thank you guys so much for that, by the way. But yeah, let's go for 90 likes for this really nice gameplay. I'm not even sure. This is getting really long now. I don't know if this is going to be a free-for-all gameplay anymore. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like and a comment and share your thoughts on this in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Real quick before this video starts, check out Chaos Monster in the description below. I linked him right at the top. He's the guy who got me my Advanced Warfare camo code on Black Ops 2 for free, so huge thank you to him. Sorry for forgetting to shout you out last week, buddy. My bad, but definitely check him out and subscribe in the description below if you like what he uploads. But anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoy the commentary, and let's move on. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Goblin, and thank God my cold is getting better, so I may sound a little less funky in this commentary, because in my last commentary, I rewatched it once it was uploaded and noticed that I sounded kind of weird, so I apologize about that, but my cold is gradually getting better, so these next couple videos, you will kind of notice the return of my normal commentating voice, I guess you will say. So anyways, let's go for 90 likes on this video, just in honor of me finally feeling better, and also some throwback COD, which is what this video is all about. Now, what I'm playing right now is some World at War, and I'm running around with the Thompson. I don't even know what map this is, honestly. I don't remember many of the map names from World at War, especially any of those older CODs as a whole. But this is just, in my opinion, a really entertaining gameplay, and playing this game kind of made me want to make this video because I wanted to talk about older Call of Duties and just why the series has kind of gone downhill lately. So
pretty much why older Call of Duties were so successful, not necessarily in sales and profits, but more so in community recognition and I guess community acceptance, in the sense that people accepted it as a great Call of Duty. You know, like COD 4, World at War, those older games, people generally mutually accept those as some of the best CODs of all time. Up to MW2, but nowhere beyond it. Maybe Black Ops 1 territory a little bit. Those were the best times for Call of Duty because every game had really new and awesome ideas to it. For example, World at War completely fucking flipped the COD series with the whole Nazi zombies thing. That was something that had never even been thought of by people who played COD before. And then all of a sudden, bang, they're coming in with Nazi zombies out of nowhere. And people are like, what the hell? But it wasn't a game mode that you could always just openly play. It was a game mode that you had to beat the campaign in order to play it. Now, there was some other glitch to get it. I don't remember what. There was some trick to getting it, and I did that trick, but then I ended up beating the campaign on veteran, I think it was, with a few buddies of mine. But it motivated people to actually try and test out the campaign mode, which was awesome in World at War because it had a genuine story to it. And it was such a winning formula because now everyone's hearing about this Nazi Zombies game mode, everyone's talking about it, and that makes other people want to play it who haven't tried it yet, so they're going to go run through the whole campaign with their buddies to unlock it, then they're going to go play Nazi Zombies. They're already going to be playing multiplayer because that was kind of the staple of Call of Duty games, thanks to COD 4 really just kind of embracing multiplayer, I guess you could say. And it's the simple formula that is really why COD succeeded and why COD is even where it is today, although it doesn't necessarily follow that formula anymore, which is why more and more people are starting to hate Call of Duty. You know, back in the day, you had 3 kill streaks. You had the UAV, you had the airstrike, and you had the helicopter. That was it. And if you dropped a heli in a game, you were viewed as godly. End of story. Now, World at War kind of took their twist on that, and they put in the dogs, which were also OP, because getting a 7 kill streak back then wasn't a common thing. Nowadays, if you brag about a 7 kill streak, that is laughable. You will get picked on. But back in the day, that was impressive because there was no such thing as a tryhard. There was no such thing as a quickscoper. It was literally everybody just picking out a gun and playing the game, and the majority of people who played together were all kids who went to school or worked together, somehow knew each other in person. It was always a group of friends who would just go back to their houses after hanging out for a long day, pick up the controller, and one kid's gonna be that douchebag who's like, yo, I'm gonna toss on the shotgun with the gayest attachments possible. Then you're gonna have your buddy in the group who slaps on Juggernaut and like an MP40, one of the most OP guns in World at War, and then you're gonna have the one buddy who wants to just snipe and become the most elite player ever, because back then sniping, if you could snipe efficiently, you were viewed as a god. End of story. That was something that some kids wouldn't even try to do. And it's just, I love the old guns too. Like, for example, the Thompson that I'm using right now. This is one of my favorite guns in COD history, and not because it's OP or anything. It was OP in terms of damage. However, all old guns had drawbacks. There was no such thing as a true OP gun because every gun could be countered. For example, the Thompson, as you'll see, I reload a ton in this gameplay. I struggled to take more than one dude with a single clip of this thing because it has such a small clip, but you could only do one attachment per gun, so I didn't want to do an extended barrel or something and then waste the potential for that scope that'd make me more accurate, so I decided to put on the red dot sight, or not the red dot, whatever it's called, the sight in World at War. So I put that on instead of the extended clip, and now you see me dropping and hide behind walls and reloading after killing one dude. But it's also really gratifying because I actually have to work and play carefully to get these kills, which is how I dropped the dog so quickly in this game, because I played really careful and I played by the book, and I played COD how, in my opinion, it's supposed to be played. Nowadays, it's too complex. There's too much stuff to do, too many kill streaks, too many guns, way like that. Like, there's just too much shit. Why can't it go back to the original formula that everybody loves and misses? Well, not everybody. I mean, some people may disagree with me here, but from what I've heard, the majority of the COD community misses this, what it used to be, the simplicity of it, yet the kind of beauty of it, because it was so fun with that simple formula. So yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I just kind of wanted to, not necessarily rant, I wouldn't call this a rant, but just kind of talk about older COD games. So let's drop 90 likes on this video for some throwback World at War. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this gameplay. I'm kind of branching out and playing some older CODs lately. Let's also hit 90 likes for the fact that my cold is getting better. Thank God. Wait, did I actually mention that already? I probably did. Either way, I don't care. Let's just hit 90 likes. Thank you all for watching. Please drop a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Share your thoughts if you disagree or agree, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Goblin, and before I start, yes, my cold is still here, surprisingly. God damn it, I really wish it would go away. That would be very, very convenient. However, that's not gonna happen. So anyways, this commentary today, if you couldn't already judge by the title, I'm going to kind of explain the benefits of the single lifestyle and why I like being single, which is kind of surprising for me to say, because if you guys have followed my Twitter within the past, 8 or so months, probably less than that, a lot less than that actually, but you know the drill. I've kind of, tweeted some personal stuff about females and stuff like that, which kind of contradicts this commentary. However, I'm here today to once again contradict myself. So before I start this, I would like to ask for 90 likes on this video because of the Black Ops 1 gameplay and because I am still suffering through this god-awful cold. I don't know what the hell it is. Oh god, excuse me, I just got this sting in my nose. Sweet Jesus, help me. But anyways, yeah, let's go for 90 likes. I hope you guys enjoy this Black Ops 1 gameplay, and without further ado, to the topic. So, why I like being single. Now, don't get me wrong, I do still miss my ex, of course. However, there's also kind of some things that I've come to realize that made moving on a lot easier for me. Now, I dated this girl, if you guys didn't know, or if you guys don't know me in person, or just don't really know me personally that well at all. Basically, I dated this girl for about 10 months, and a few days ago, we officially cut things off for good. We were done. We were just over. We don't even speak anymore. I don't even know if she will hear this video, because she used to watch my videos just out of boredom, but I don't know if she'll hear this. I have no clue, but that's not the topic either way. So, basically, we dated for 10 months, and then we broke up, and it sucked. I was really, really upset over it. I was sad. I had a hard time kind of moving on and accepting the fact that she didn't really care about me anymore, and it sucked. And for those first couple days, I was really, really sad, and I was down in the dumps. I was down on myself, and I just felt like shit. I felt like absolute pure garbage to see her be able to literally, within a span of 3 days, go from telling me how much she loves me and appreciating the hell out of me to essentially treating me like garbage, treating me like trash, like I'm a stranger, like she never met me before. And it was really upsetting just to see that she was able to move on that quickly, because if you were able to move on that quickly, did you ever really care in the first place? And I asked myself that. But then I started not giving a fuck, because I sat down and I was like, why the hell am I so sad over this? Why am I mourning over my past? Why should I even give a shit and waste any more time than I already have, And being single has its benefits, but not with the whole freedom to talk to girls thing. That's not really me. I'm not a player. I don't go around talking to a ton of girls, kind of slide in. Well, I do occasionally slide in the DMs, but I don't go to parties. I don't go talk to a lot of girls. I'm not the flirty kind of out there kind of dude. I more so keep to myself, and I don't really pull, in all honesty. I don't. And any of you who know me in person, you know that well. I don't pull. But I just kind of like chilling out and doing my own thing. And now being able to wake up every morning and not really have any responsibilities besides whatever I guess you could say assign myself to do is really relieving. It's essentially now, and this is perfect timing for this to happen too, for us to split up, I guess. And it's never perfect timing to break up. It's a sad event, but it's perfect timing, or the best timing possible, I guess you could say, for this to happen, because school's winding down. There's really no stress left. My grades are pretty much what they are. They're set in stone at this point, and finals, I don't really think are going to move anything very much. And then I have the summer to chill out and just do my own thing, so I can live this stress-free lifestyle and just kind of do what I please. If I see a girl that I think is cute, damn right I'm gonna tell her, If I see a girl who I think has a nice ass, damn right I'm gonna tell her. I can do that if I want to, but if I'm too shy, then I don't have to, I completely make all of my own decisions now, and I love it. I don't have to worry about anything, really. I don't have any fears or concerns, or I don't really have any sadness, I guess you could say, because a lot of the times when I would get upset or down in the dumps, it was because of that relationship. And this, I'm not just talking about myself, I'm kind of applying this to all guys who have been in a relationship before. You should know how this is, And it just feels so good, because now I'm not really that sad anymore. I'm not really an upset dude. I'm not kind of down in the dumps all the time anymore. I'm more so just kind of laid back and chill. I don't really care about much anymore. Sure, I like doing this, I care about this, but
I don't have like an emotional attachment to making YouTube videos, you know? It's just, I have fun. I do what I like to do. I can spend more time on my hobby, which is this, and I can hang out with who I want. I can meet some new people, and it gives me some freedom to just kind of become a new person, I guess, and kind of change my life, because for these past 10 months I've been stuck in this relationship that's really just been kind of shitty for a lot of the time of it. And I'm not going to go into details why, because that does not need to be said. That's personal stuff, and I don't want her getting, you know, upset with me if I mention anything that may bother her about that. So I'm not going to go into that, but just it was kind of an unhealthy relationship for the time that it lasted, and being able to finally kind of have that weight of wondering, oh no, is she going to be mad at me if I do so-and-so, off of my shoulders? It's great, you know? Like, I don't have to reply to texts from Bay in between COD games. I don't have to wake up at a certain time to, you know, make sure that I'm not asleep for like 4 hours while she's still awake. So I don't have to wake up to like 38 texts saying like, I miss you, come back. And I was kind of a victim of that too. Sometimes when she's sleeping, I just spam the shit out of her with texts and hope she'd wake up. But it's just like, I don't know. I have that freedom, and I really, really love it so far, because it's just so awesome. You can sit there and do absolutely anything that comes to mind. I mean, technically you really could. If you want to murder someone, I'm not saying you should, but go for it. If your heart desires it, I guess, you know, whatever you're going to do, you're going to do. And I, you know, that's just kind of your thing. And when you're in a relationship, you kind of have those freedoms taken away from you, because you have to remember, oh wait, I have this responsibility where I have to do so-and-so with the bae, you know? Or, oh, this girl's trying to hit on me. Yeah, I find her really cute, but I have to say no if I want to be a good dude. I mean, technically you could kind of take it a little further, but that's a douchebag thing, and I hate cheating. I would never do it. I don't like cheaters, and that's a shitty thing, but kind of, that was off topic. But anyways, back on topic, it's just, being single is so chilled out. I love it. Like, I can't wait for this summer to roll around when I can just sit here and hang out with friends all day, grind out YouTube videos at night, and just make that the daily hustle. Like, that's gonna be my thing this summer, and I'm not going to do anything stressful. I'm just gonna kind of chill out, relax, be myself, do my thing, and when I want to have a relationship again, I will, because of course it has its perks. However, if someone walks out on you, if someone leaves your life, if someone breaks up with you, and maybe they were like the only person you had, believe me, it's not the end of the world. And if any of you guys are going through something like that right now, kind of take this commentary into consideration. Being single is pretty badass. It really is. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please drop a like and a comment and share your thoughts on the single lifestyle, or if you're in a relationship and you may disagree with some of my points, share that. Let's also go for 90 likes in honor of some throwback Black Ops 1 gameplay. I'm definitely going to be uploading more throwback COD, because you guys are seeming to really enjoy my gameplays lately, and I appreciate it. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Okay, nigga, that's my calling. 30 grand and the rest I'm ballin'. Big diamonds and all them flawless. Sippin' on that, whatchamacallit. Goddamn, always too loco. Blaming on that Coco Loso. 4 hoes and a deuce to the photo. Low pro, 2 foes in my polo. Whole team getting hit on the low. Don't stop, ODC, go. Fuck y'all niggas ain't know me for. Probably cause a nigga rich and a low.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a commentary about my first ever nudes. Now, before I start, I would like to ask for 90 likes in honor of titties, and also 90 likes in honor of the fact that my goddamn cold has yet to go away, and it's been a week, so I'm a little upset with that. I'm still stuffed up, I'm still coughing, and speaking of coughing, give me a second. Oh, sweet Jesus, excuse me. But anyways, yeah, let's go for 90 likes in honor of this interesting commentary, some titties, of course, and my cold, which is currently tearing my soul apart. Now, moving on, I would like to talk about the story of how I got my first ever nudes. Now, this actually happened a few years ago, before like Snapchat was ever around, or Vine, or any of those big apps where people would send nudes, back when sliding into DMs on Twitter wasn't really like a well-known thing to do, and it was just kind of like back before the internet turned into just Titty Fest, pretty much. This was was back in, I want to say, maybe 2011 or early 2012. I was in 7th grade at the time, and I didn't get these from anyone at my school. This was actually kind of an interesting story as to how I met this girl. I'm not going to drop any real names because, you know, confidentiality is kind of a big thing that I kind of want to represent in my commentaries because I don't want to, like, call people out for anything. But anyways, this was this girl, and she was like 16 at the time, I believe. I don't know how old she is now, probably 18 or 19. But anyway, she was 16 at the time, and I played PC games a lot more than I played Xbox games. I didn't really play Xbox or COD, as much as I did more PC games like Garry's Mod or, you know, lots of stuff like that. And this girl was one of the people who was in my little group that I played games with, and she had a boyfriend at the time of this, which is, now that I look back on it, kind of fucked up that she sent me this because, like I said in commentaries before, I don't like people who cheat or do stuff like that. But I didn't really think much of it at the time, and I was fully aware too. I just didn't really think much of it because I'd never had a girlfriend yet, or like even a first kiss or anything like that. But anyways, I was talking to this girl, and we were kind of talking back and forth. And back then, since I was younger, and you know, I was also not necessarily big shot player, I wasn't really the guy who would kind of go out there and like hit on girls or like ask for nudes or stuff like that, especially because I was like 12 or 13, either 12 or 13 at the time. I don't remember exactly. But anyways, we were talking over Skype, and we were just kind of sitting there chatting, and we're like playing the game together. I believe it was Garry's Mod at the time, and we were, you know, just chilling out, and it was like a one-on-one kind of Skype call, and she had to go. So she hung up the call because she had to go Skype someone else. However, she was still like PMing me, and we were talking back and forth and stuff like that. And we had been playing together for a few hours that day. We'd been talking to each other for like a long time before that because, you know, same group of people, stuff like that. And I was way younger, and it was kind of nice to know that these older guys that I played with, guys and girls, didn't really mind that I was young. That was pretty cool. So naturally, you know, I got kind of like, I guess like really close to these people because we were tight. We talked for a while, you know, and I was like one of the youngest kids in the group. I think the second youngest besides me, and like the group of kids that I played with was like 13 maybe at the time, and I was 12. But anyways, so I'm talking to this girl, and she brings up how, like, I don't know, her bra's annoying her or something like that, or how, like, she's horny or something like that. And I was 12, so I didn't really know why she would bring that up to a 12-year-old. I figured it was, like, nothing significant. She never even seen what I looked like before, so I doubted that she was trying to hit on me or anything. And I kind of went in, and I don't know what brought me to say this. I don't know what gave me the balls to say this, because I'd never done anything like it before. And I was just like, oh, well, you should let me see. And I apparently, she wasn't playing around. She sent me this picture over Skype, and of course, since my internet was garbage and still kind of is, it took a while to download, so I was sitting there with anticipation, like, is this gonna be my first ever, like, titties that weren't on RedTube? So I download it finally, and I open it, and Merry Christmas. It was titties, alright, and they were pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, you know, for a special, well, not even for first, just in general, they were very nice. So thank you very much, young lady, if you are listening to this right now, which I doubt you are. You know who you are. Thank you very, very much. That was great. I don't have the picture anymore, though, sadly, very, very sadly, because that was nice. But anyways, so she sent me that picture, and I was kind of in shock. It took me a few to reply, because I was like, those are titties, holy shit. And I was like freaking out. I was like, yeah, I pull. And I ran out of the living room, and I was like, hey, Mom, I got titties! No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, so I PM'd her back, and I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome. Like, those are nice and shit like that. And she was like, yeah. Now I was like, well, how big are they? And then she said something. It was in the D's. I don't know. They were fucking big. But anyways, I was naturally impressed, and I was all like hyped up over this. And then she had to get off almost right after that. So I was like, all right, see ya. And now I just had these kind of titties in my hand. Not like literally in my hand, you know. But I had these titties in the palm of my hand to pretty much do anything I wanted with. And it was my first news. I didn't really get how it worked. So I just kind of go when I went and saved them on my computer, because since it was sent over Skype, I was on my laptop at the time, and I don't have the picture anymore, like I mentioned earlier, because that was a way older laptop than what I use right now. But I saved them in some little folder that I made. I don't know, I think I just called it like boobs or something like that, because I was like 12 and I never got anything like this before. So then the next day rolls around, and I talk to the girl again, and we're kind of talking more and more, not necessarily like getting to a flirty level or anything. She wasn't flirting with me. I wasn't like sending her pictures or anything. No, I was like 12. I wasn't going to send her a pic of my dong, you know? But anyways, we were talking, and she did it again. She literally, like, without even asking, she just sent me another, and she's like, what do you think? And I was like, oh shit. And now that I look back on it, it was kind of sort of like slutty of her to do that, because she had a boyfriend, and she lives in Canada. I lived in the US. I didn't know she lived in Canada until like 2 days after she sent me the first picture, and I was kind of raking them in like that paper, you know? I was just raking in these nudes, and then we were chatting, and I was like, oh, so where do you live? And then she was like, Canada. And I was like, oh, well, shit, that's some fucking Canadian pussy right there, you know? So we were talking for a bit after that, after I kept getting pictures, and then one day we just kind of stopped talking. I don't really remember how. We just kind of stopped talking to each other, and we stopped Skyping, we stopped PMing each other, you know? She stopped sending me pictures and stuff like that, and I was just kind of let down, because I was like, well, there go my titties. That was my source of titties right there. I like that a lot. However, it's gone now. It's too late. Rest in peace. You know, I mean, now by now that I think about it, you know, she's probably showing them to like 200,000 more guys. So if I Googled her name, I could probably find some tit pics by now, judging by the I guess lack of hesitation she had to just whip a tit out, you know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Please drop a like and a comment and share your experience getting your first nude, or if you haven't gotten one, then I don't know, just share your titty preference. I don't know. Also, let's go for 90 likes on this video in honor of my cold, which is still being a piece of shit. And I said nudes in this because it wasn't only tits. I got some other pictures too, you know, later on down the line before we stopped talking. But you know, I felt like the first ever picture I got of any girl's like private part, I would focus on more than like the other rest of the kind of saga of titties, you know? So anyways, thank you all for watching. Once again, let's go for 90 likes. Drop a comment sharing your experience with your first nudes, or if you've never gotten nudes, share your favorite flavor of Gatorade. I don't fucking know. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Can't stop drinking down your name, and all you keep on saying is how this music